Alright, so it's a 20-minute workout focusing on the lead roundhouse kick. I'll start off by warming up with some bag work. I'm training around an injury, so you'll notice I'm not throwing any right hands at all. Lots of kicks using my left hand. The goal is to warm up. I'm not really trying to get myself incredibly knackered. It's the beginning of the workout, so I'm just trying to get the blood flowing because I'm going to be stretching soon. You don't have to do exactly the same as I'm doing. You don't even have to hit a bag. You could do the same thing with shadow boxing. It all depends on what you've got available space, available equipment. So I'm doing less than 3 minutes bag work here, and I have a little bit of rest in between as well. I'm not doing like the entire time non-stop. You'll notice cuts in the video. I did a lot of filming the rest periods. If you need to rest, take a rest. Again, this is not a fitness workout. This is just trying to get the blood flowing. Because we're going to be stretching, working on some techniques. Just because it's not a workout, fitness workout doesn't mean say you can't be energetic and have some fun if you feel like it. If you like jumping around, hitting the bag with lots of spinning kicks, go for it. Again, the idea is to warm yourself up before stretching. Okay, with the warm-up done, I'm going to start stretching now. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to go into a side split position. And I'm going to hold it for 30 seconds. Now, I'm not just sitting there doing nothing the entire time. I'm kind of rocking backwards and forwards. I'll try and take the weight on my legs, put my hands back. Notice I'm lifting my feet up. When I do that, my feet are going ever so slightly farther apart, only ever so slightly. Also, I'm not trying to push too much. I'm holding it, pushing a little bit. It's tiny little increments is what we're looking for. Don't ever try and force a stretch. Okay, so after 30 seconds, I'm going to reach down towards one ankle. Now, I'm not turning my hips around, I'm bending at the waist here. This increases the stretch on the left leg, but it also increases the stretch around the hips on the right leg. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side in a minute. When I do this, I feel like I'm stretching into the position I'm going to be in when I'm throwing a high kick. Okay, so after 30 seconds that side, I switch over to the other side. Now this side, you might notice I'm not quite as flexible. I've got a little bit of an issue with my left hip there. So I'm adjusting my position ever so slightly. Concentrate on that one little tight spot. And this is what you need to do. If you've got a particular tight spot, you need to hold it. You kind of focus on it. Don't try and force it though. Just focus on it, give it a little bit more attention. Right, after holding that position for 30 seconds, I'm going to turn around into a front split position and hold this for 30 seconds. Now while I'm holding this position, I'm going to do a couple of movements. See, I lift myself up, straighten my leg, and push myself back down. Helps me go down a little bit farther. Now I'm leaning forwards to increase the stretch on the front leg. Now I lean backwards to increase the stretch on the back leg. And once I've done that, I can usually get my back leg to go back a tiny little bit farther. There we go. So continue holding that for the rest of the 30 seconds. And now I'll turn around. And you notice as I turn around, I try and keep my feet in the same position. So once again, lift myself up, squeeze my legs together, and then drop down. I'm going to lean forward again. Again, my right side, I'm not quite so good on my right side. And then lean forward again and see if my back foot will go a little farther backwards. There we go, just a tiny bit. Okay, just hold that position for the rest of the time. Right, there we go. And stand up. Okay, now for the main workout part. All I'm doing here is throwing lead leg roundhouse kicks. There you go. Now I'm doing it on the spot, so I'm not moving forwards. My back foot is rotating round in the position, but I'm not skipping it in. There you go. See? So I'm going to throw several roundhouse kicks at the lead leg like that. I'm working on technique. And the number of kicks you throw is really not that important. It is important to go for quality over quantity. Okay, so now I'm doing slide-in roundhouse kicks. Push off the back foot and slide yourself forward to cover ground. You may also notice that I'm alternating between using my instep as a striking tool and the ball of my foot. Generally speaking, striking with the instep is faster, but striking with the ball of the foot is a lot more effective for hitting the body. There you go. Thanks. See, striking with the ball of the foot. Now let's face it, kicking somebody in the body when you're wearing one of these boots, it's not really going to do that much damage. But if you strike with the ball of the foot, it can be like 10 times more effective. Okay, now I'm going to work on some high lead roundhouse kicks. That's always important to work on kicking at different heights. Obviously head kicks score more, and head kicks are much cooler. Okay, so now I've done my left leg, I'm going to have another little stretch. So I'm going to stretch down, nice and wide. Now you notice here I've got my feet pointing up in the air. That's to help my feet slide out a little farther and also take some strain off the inside of my knees. Now these stretches are deeper, so I can't really hold myself up as easily. I'm only holding each stretch for 20 seconds before I change position. There we go, so I'm going to change round in the front split position. And once again, I'm going to hold the position, then I'm going to lean forward for a little bit to try and increase the stretch. Lean backward a little bit as well. You don't really notice me leaning backwards here because the stretch is deeper. So even though I'm trying to lean backwards, it doesn't look like much. So I can't actually lean back. Okay, turn around after 20 seconds. 20 seconds on the other side. Okay, so that's the stretching done. Now to work on the right leg. For me, working on the right leg, I do exactly the same as the left leg. I just do slightly less of it. My right leg's my dominant leg. I'm much better with my right leg. So that's why I do my left leg first. And I'm a lot stricter about how many reps I do with my left leg. I try and do a lot more because it's just so much easier with my right. One of the best ways to improve your non-dominant side is just use it more. I mean, it will never become as good as your dominant side. I actually find that I can train my non-dominant side and it gets really, really good. And then even if I haven't trained my dominant side, it's somehow better. It's always better than my non-dominant side. Doesn't matter what we're doing. And here's where you can really see how much better my right leg is. The sliding in roundhouse kicks to the top of the bag. They're just so much easier, so much smoother than my right leg. Okay, so that's the technique work done. Now I'm going to work on some combinations which use the lead roundhouse kick. Some of these are staples of mine. Some of them are brand new. This one's something I was trying out. Lead roundhouse kicks, side step off, and then come in with a reverse punch. Now the reason I'm coming in with a reverse punch is because I can't hit with my right arm, because I've got an injury. Okay, here I stick in a couple of side kicks with a bit of variation. I mean, just because it's a roundhouse kick training session doesn't mean I can't throw any other kicks. And of course, with me, I have to switch and do a little bit of work southpaw. Okay, now for some multiple high kicking. This is the same combination that I did earlier, but I'm just doubling it up and throwing it all to the head. Double round to the head, reverse punch, double round to the head. And now I take my gloves off and I just work on the kicks. I'm just working on the roundhouse kicks here. I'm going to double them up, get to the body, get to the head, double up to the head, slide in with double kicks, slide in with double head kicks. I'm going to do a whole bunch of things which I find difficult. There you go. Slide in double head kick with my left. I'm really not that good with my left. So here's a good example of the difference between a slide in roundhouse kick and a skipping roundhouse kick. Might notice the skipping roundhouse kick sounds a little harder. Yep, there's my right leg, much faster and smoother with the slide in double head kick. And you notice there the skipping double head kick is a lot easier. Okay, now for some core work and kicking control. Holding a 3 kilo medicine ball. For 20 seconds, I'm going to hop and kick the bag as hard as I can. Notice I'm going high as well. I'm going for a couple of shots body height, then a couple of shots head height. Only single shots head height, I'm not that good. As it's hard enough as it is, holding the medicine ball, 1, helps you keep your hands up. 2, increases your core strength. And 3, just makes the hopping that little bit harder. Of course, you've got to switch legs, do it on the other leg. Now here you'll notice that I'm not as good with my left. It's not as fast. I don't seem to be hitting it as hard. I'm not going up top as many times with head kicks. And oh, look, there you go, see? I had to recover my balance a bit. Okay, now I've done that 20 seconds each leg. I'm going to do some kneeling jump ups. Take my boots off, obviously, so I don't scrape on the floor. And what I'm doing, as you can see, I go into a kneeling position, holding the medicine ball, and then I jump up and land on my feet. Now this is a way of building some explosive power in the thighs As I go up, I'm straightening my legs, extending them, similar to the way you would with a roundhouse kick. Now, obviously, it's only the beginning portion of the movement, but it's generally the portion of the movement which gets the least work, because people have a tendency to only bend their knees halfway. Right, after I've done 10 of those, I'm going to finish off with a nice, gentle, relaxed, seated stretch. So I'm going to sit down, open my legs as wide as they go, and lean forwards, and I'm going to hold this for 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, I'll reach down towards one ankle. Now what I'm doing there is I'm thinking about trying to get my chest to my thigh, not so much my head and my knees. I don't want to round my back too much. As you can see, my back's rounding now already. Change sides after 30 seconds again. There is a reason that I hold these stretches for a maximum of 30 seconds. There's loads of research in this stretching. I'm not going to try and cite any studies or papers or anything which say you have to hold for 30 seconds. This is just what works for me. If you find that holding it for slightly longer works or slightly less, do that. If you're unsure though, don't go making up arbitrary stuff just because you like the sound of it. And if you're unsure, stick to the 30-second rule. It works very well for me and for most of the people that I train. Okay, so here's a very important stretch. I'm going to stretch my quads and hip flexors. Very important to stretch your hip flexors. They get used a lot during kicking and in a very short range of motion. So if you don't stretch them, they can become a little too tight. The resting length will shorten. It can lead to all number of problems, including a bad back. And also, it gets in the way of your kicking. As you can see, I'm down on one knee. I'm pulling my heel in towards my butt. This is stretching the quad. And if you want to increase the stretch on your hip flexor, pull your shoulders back. Now, obviously, you might find it hard pulling your shoulders back whilst also pulling your heel in. After 30 seconds, I'm going to swap and do it on the other side. Okay, stretching done, workout over.